The silence that breaks men. Let's honestly be tough. When a female begins to ignore you, it seems as though your piece by piece, souls are being extracted. You go over each and every word, text, and look, attempting to determine where everything went wrong. She's giggling one day at your jokes, putting a hand on your arm, and stating she is missing you. Then there was stillness, the type of quiet that allows your chest pain and mental instability. However, this is the reality. Most males don't listen. She doesn't just stop talking. It's control, not confusion. When a female disregards you, she's not only vanishing, she's observing what you'll do, how you'll respond, and above all, what you will become away from her. Since deep down, she is aware of something strong. Currency is attention. Additionally, when she removes it, she immediately turns into the reward once more. As soon as you begin searching for that quiet, you've already lost the frame. Women, you see, don't. When you're weak, they test you. They put you to the test. When they believe you're capable of lose concentration, it's their subliminal method to inquire, is he focused or is his dependent on me for validation? Most guys not pass that test. They send two texts at once. They call, inquire about the issue, and attempt to repair what was never damaged. However, in actuality, she isn't holding out for injustification. She's awaiting word on whether without her, your entire world falls apart. And everything changes at that point because the absence of pursuit, the absence of you, flip the psychology when you react. Immediately, she begins to question why. Is he not folding? Why does he not panic? Similar to the others. And all of a sudden, you become into the puzzle. You take on the role of the emotional trigger. This is the moment when curiosity emerges from silence, turn interest into allure. However, let's go farther. The actual cause of the pain when she doesn't ignore you because she's not there, silent. The reason is that her silence compels you to confront your own void. Too much of your value was based on how she notices you, and that mirror is no longer there. You're feeling lost because of this. Not because she disappeared, but since she stole your thinking beside her. This is the unpleasant reality. Attraction doesn't pass away without a word. It moves. Additionally, in that shift, she wants to be in charge. She seeks to determine whether you're emotionally sturdy enough to maintain your position. If you're a man who maintains his roots despite, that's what happens when she withdraws her energy, produces genuine polarity. Due to the fact that a woman doesn't need attention all the time, she longs for the confirmation that you don't need her attention in order to feel strong. Thus, don't lose it when she ignores you. Don't elaborate. Avoid expressing despair. Just take a moment. Allow her to remain silent. Echo. Additionally, in that area, rebuild your center. Exercise. Take care of your business. Get back in touch with your pals. Get cold, not to discipline her, but to restore control over your own feelings. Because each minute you maintain your composure, she senses the change. The energy shifts. She is aware that she no longer possesses emotional dominance over you. Additionally, that's the start of the reversal. She will begin breadcrumbing, a response to the narrative, and a random emoji, a recollection she just recalled, the true significance of her silence. She knocks on the door that manner, once more, to see if your energy is still accessible. However, here is where most males make a mistake. That door is opened too soon. They use access to reward inconsistency. Keep her from having to earn her way back into your focus in the same manner that you obtaining hers. Thus, the dynamic resets to your advantage. Due to the fact that it's not about retaliation in the end, it concerns courtesy. the admiration she can only sense for a man who maintains his identity, attempting to demonstrate his value to someone who left. Recall that apathy is the strongest reaction you can ever give in to disrespect. Additionally, when a lady understands that she can't shake you, that's when she feels emotionally something she hasn't experienced in a while. Time, fear, the worry that a man who doesn't require her consent to be strong. Take a moment to ask yourself, how recently have you ceased seeking quiet and began taking responsibility for your presence? As she disregards your gut will be screaming for you to pursue her, to make things right, to clarify you. Your ego is pleading for confirmation. Furthermore, if you feed it, you demolish your power. Here's what you do that instead. You also become quiet, but with goal. You're not reacting by being silent. It conveys a message. You're demonstrating to her that you don't follow her schedule. You go when you want to, not when it's necessary for attentiveness. That's what distinguishes emotional men from strong ones. 1. Closure is not sought after by strong men. They bring about closure. They make no demands. Pay attention. By being there, they draw it in a more concentrated state and self-control. And that's just what brings her back. Not what you say, but your absence. Because a man's silence who was deafening when it was available, it makes her feel the emptiness she caused. Consider this. When you pause replying, she'll play back your previous messages. She will question whether she pushed too far. It will be fought by her pride. However, curiosity always prevails. She will follow you around, profile, monitor your internet presence, even discuss you in a roundabout way. Why? Due to women have an innate ability to sense emotions. They detect changes in energy. Additionally, when energy separates, she feels compelled to restore emotional balance. She will make an effort to entice you back into her sphere. However, you are now the owner of the frame. Your objective is not to disregard her return to resentment. It will no longer be available. In essence, stop centering then your surroundings around her. Don't check her. Tails. Her posts cannot be decoded. No responding to breadcrumbs. Allow her to reside in that ambiguity. As she contemplates you're out, what are you thinking? Establishing your empire. Visit the gym. Make over your look. Go after your goal. Take actions that make you feel alive once more, as that's the vigor that draws women in more than the instant you become powerless. No text ever could. This is the psychological slant. When she notices you, her subconscious was shining without her, enters a state of terror. It murmurs, he's letting go. At that point, her feelings turn over. What was once her test is now her regret. Now you have the dynamic in reverse. She's considering you as you're centered on yourself. That isn't manipulation. Equilibrium is that. You're restoring the emotional equilibrium that it ought to have never been lost. However, you have to stand your ground. She will return. With tactful efforts, casual conversation, fake worry, nostalgia. Don't hurry to fuel her ego by giving her a too warm response. Give her a quiet, neutral vibe. Be kind, but not eager. Allow her to sense that you no longer rely on others for emotional support. If you do that, she will automatically begin vying for your attention once more. Because women have a greater desire for whereas love is a definite emotional state. They wish to believe they can rely on a man's vitality. Because regardless of what occurs, he won't shatter. That is a manly thing. Containment. It's not chilly, it's emotional guidance. You display her because of your composure, you're the anchor during a storm. And that's what restores her respect for you. Because in her thoughts, if you can tolerate her quiet, you can manage the turmoil of life with grace, with strength. Now, if you're compelled to reach out and stop, consider this. Am I behaving out of fear or strength? If don't do anything because of your fear, every action you creates dread, which strengthens her power. In the equation of emotions, you must let her ponder. Allow her to miss you in tranquilly, since missing you is the first step towards regaining your esteem. And when she eventually gets in touch, your everything is determined by reaction. Don't reward irregularities with enthusiasm. Keep your energy and tone low, grounded with few answers. You need not engage in gaming. All you need is to keep the cue in place. The more focused you are, the more confused she gets, and attraction results from that. Perplexity. Not that you're trying to control her, but as you're demonstrating your strength in a emotional instability in the world, you must realize that attraction is not created. In pursuit, it is a natural occurrence. When you exude confidence in your presence, tranquility, guidance, and her emotional, the system adapts to you naturally. That's why it's the males that win that master the art of stillness. They don't pursue, they captivate attention with their movements. Thus, don't respond the next time she ignores you. Don't give up. Don't explain either. You simply vanish with grace, since nothing smolders more deeply into a woman's thoughts as opposed to the man who strolled disappearing silently and never turned around. Each time a woman leaves, it's not random. I'm mute on you. It's mental. You're in a subliminal game that she might not be aware of, even be aware that she is playing. Look, ladies measure impact by using quiet. They're interested in seeing how deeply how much emotional leverage is invested. They have, and if you're willing to maintain their focus, it's not bad. It's the test as well as instinct. That distinguishes males who are emotionally reactive from flip the psychology from high value, grounded men. Let's dissect it. When a female disregards you, her mind goes into what psychologists refer to as the evaluation stage. Her feelings are drawn to away, but her interest is piqued. She's not quite gone. She's watching, monitoring your digital traces, interpreting the text, recognizing your change in energy. If you follow her, she unconsciously affirms her authority. However, if you don't, her equilibrium is disturbed. It's an instinctive response. She becomes tense, the same tension that used to make her attracted to you initially. The secret lies in that tension. It's the oxygen which sustains attraction. When she is unsure of her position, with her feelings begin to resurface because of you. However, this is where the majority of males ruin things. They can't stand the quiet. They interpret her distance as an act of rejection rather than a test. They begin to over-explain, trying to purchase, being overly forgiving, and return to emotional security. However, each message declares, I need you to validate me. And nothing squelches desire more quickly than neediness. Women have strong emotions, beings, yet they have a strong desire for emotional leadership. A man capable of maintaining composure power is communicated in uncertainty without uttering a single word, since that quiet, that regulated separation, muttering something primordial. I'm not desperate to see you. You are able to depart, but I won't be phased. That a woman is driven insane by energy. It creates she questions, overthinks, and ultimately return in order to quell her own curiosity. The polarity reverses in this way. Consider similar to gravity. The more sensible, the more you are drawn to her, you. The more you emotionally circle her, the further she drifts off. That's the complete macho and feminine game vitality. She is silent as the wind, erratic and disorderly. Your work isn't in order to follow the wind, but to be the mountain, still, motionless, here. The more you remain still, the more a storm of emotions descends upon you. Additionally, most guys have additional layer. Emotional contrast, miss. When she disregards you, thinking that she's establishing a contrast between the presence of absence. If you fill that out right away, she never receives attention when she is absent. To sense your absence, she never feels emotionally detached, and consequently, it never rediscovers gratitude. However, if you remain quiet, eventually, she experiences the emotional retreat brought about by her own conduct. That anguish turns into memory, and memory rekindles affection. You're not punishing her. You will allow her to your emotions take care of the task. Women connect by emotion rather than reason. You are unable to convince her that she wants you back, yet she, if you stay, she can sense her way back to you, steady and composed. For this reason, the power of indifference is immense. It sets off her to resume the emotional pursuit, and as she begins to pursue, she reopens similar lines of attraction that brought her to you first. However, when she returns, there's a catch. You have to be silent, from strength rather than suffering. If you're seated, she was browsing over her page, bitter. You're not waiting for her message, disengaged. You're merely acting. Actual detachment indicates that you've changed your concentrate on yourself. You're getting better, improving your world, growing your tranquilly. When that occurs, your vitality evolves organically. You begin to glow, the serene self-assurance that women able to sense, even via a phone screen. That's when she comes back. It might begin modestly, a hey, a heart response, a arbitrary justification for getting back in touch. Don't hurry. In. Permit her to make an investment. Allow her to reconstruct what she cracked. When she realizes that you're without her, the world didn't fall apart. She will long to participate once more. The contradiction is that the less you require, the more she desires to be required by you. So keep this fact in mind. The individual who maintains her composure while her quiet turns into in her confusion, she respects this man. Manipulation is not what that is. It's macho, emotional restraint, because when you pause in an attempt to win her back, you begin regaining your own. Additionally, that's the every woman subconsciously longs for vitality, but will never confess. A man whose tranquilly cannot be taken, not even by affection. When she does return, she will, your true test will be at that point. Due to your response to her return, will determine if she respects you once more or just goes through the same cycle again. Most men break down. That's it. They perplex her. Reappearance with forgiveness. She must have missed me, I thought. Me, yet in reality, her comeback isn't. It's always about missing you. Occasionally, it's regarding seeing if she still has emotional dominance over you. Thus, when she don't rejoice when it reaches out. Remain composed. Before you respond, read her vibe. If she says a casual phrase like, hey, unfamiliar person, or how have you been? Recognize that she is not attempting to rekindle romance as yet. She's putting your temperature of emotions. She desires to see if you're going to abandon everything and overwhelm her once more with attentiveness. Consequently, you'll never be eager with your initial response. It should be warm, neutral, and under control, but short, as if his entire universe didn't. When she was gone, cease whirling. You don't must be aloof or frigid. That's simply, fake confidence is a cover for insecurity. Keep your feet firmly planted. Answer as you would. Someone who is important but not defining you. Because ignoring doesn't give you power, her back. It's in giving her the impression that you weren't shaken by her quiet. That alone will cause her to feel something. Show respect. Women are emotionally perceptive. Strength in the manner that men perceive beauty. It's unseen but indisputable. Let's now discuss the actual events. Next, when she observes you composed, aloof, Her ego will become confused if she is unfazed. She will begin to provide conflicting messages, one day open, the next far away. Don't become irritated. This is her subconscious, adjusting to your new vitality. Because so long she was in charge, she's now understanding she's not the emotional center no more. Yes, you are. That change. She feels uneasy. Additionally, the only way she can. The transition from appeal to deference to regain equilibrium is to pursue the man who doesn't require her. Thus, when she begins demonstrating interest, responding more quickly, praising you, and proposing a meeting, don't jump right in emotionally. Go slowly. You're not attempting to discipline her. You're exercising emotional control. Let's. She made the initial investment. Allow her to make contact, make plans, reestablish confidence by constancy. That is the cost of reentry. Not retaliation, but requalification. She must earn her return to your presence in a manner similar to you needed to regain her respect. And the next time you see her, whether either in person or over a conversation, your tone is more important than what you say. Maintain a cool, collected attitude and illumination. Don't mention the quiet. Don't charge her. Do not insist on explanations. The more detached you are from what occurred, the more sentimental she becomes, because your lack of interest tells you missed your opportunity to influence me. That causes a deeper reaction than remorse. It evokes a mixture of respect and fascination. Men who lead with charisma appeal to women. Serene energy. When you reconcile, your default, you start to act erratically. Additionally, such uncertainty leads to stress. Desire is fueled by tension. Thus, when listen to her more than you do, speak. Allow her to fill the void. When she says that they're thinking about or missing you, don't immediately admit your sentiments. Allow her to experience the emotional distance from her energy to yours. That area produces gravity. It draws her in. However, this is where most males fall short. They notice her, rekindled interest as approval to reopen your emotions. Don't remain measured. Make your deeds speak for themselves, more than what you said. Continue doing what you were engaged in during her absence. The fitness center, your purpose, and your efforts. Allow her to observe that improving yourself wasn't a display. It's your way of life. Due to the fact that when she recognizes that your development wasn't concerning her, she will begin to pursue a portion of it. Keep in mind that women don't fall for words. They are seduced by the emotion. They get them from your presence, and nothing feels more appealing or secure than a man whose tranquility is unbreakable. She's previously seen that quiet from you does not govern you. You're displaying now that you are not controlled by attention either. That's what makes you not to be forgotten. Thus, upon her return, don't think of it as the end. Consider it a fresh start in which you hold the frame. No pleading, no demonstrating, no simply being, overcompensating. Due to when a man is capable of sitting on his own, women naturally gravitate towards him, not out of practicality, but because of the strength of distancing respect. Let's now discuss what genuinely distinguishes males who win her back from men who recover themselves. Because following the quiet, the separation, with the most intense inner turmoil stage of danger, comfort, after she returns, your thoughts will murmur that everything is good once more. You should unwind, revert to your former habits, and let your emotions go wild. However, the reason you lose her respect is just that. Once more. You see, attraction doesn't live comfortably. It endures on polarity. It requires that delicate tension between mystery and certainty, between independence and connection. When she returns, she is unconsciously looking for a single item to determine whether you will revert to the same man she was with, once under control. Should you do so, the cycle restarts. Otherwise, the dynamic changes irrevocably. In actuality, women want more than simply love. They desire leadership, spiritual, emotional leadership in psychology. A man who doesn't have to rule, but of course is respected for the way he carries himself. She is drawn to the energy as well. The man who pleads for attention is not, but the one with a greater purpose than her blessing. Additionally, when she realizes that purpose, she feels secure giving herself up to it. That's why she's after you. Respect over your love. Thus, how do you manage to stay there? You construct your center. You get up each morning and put your mission ahead of your feelings. You don't work out to look good, her, but to become your own master. You establish limits, not to exert authority over others, but to respect your peace. You pause excessively elaborating, forgiving, and thinking too much. Because true masculinity doesn't have to provide evidence, it just is. As she views that rendition of you, composed, centered, something changes within her. She becomes attracted to into awe. Her curiosity becomes courtesy. She might not even comprehend. Why does she feel the need to win your approval? Why does your silence feel so heavy again? Why it feels magnetic to be around you? It's since you are now uncommon. Additionally, rarity adds value. The majority of males lead lives as attention-driven emotional reactivity, dominated by fear and in need of confirmation. However, the few who rise above that they turn become anchors. The type of women and men are unable to forget, even when they leave. Because your power doesn't originate from apathy, it originates from self-control. You've become an expert at the man who left without saying anything, emotional distance, not to stay away from love, but to keep your spirit safe from being it was in charge. When you get to that point, you no longer care about whether she ignores you, likes you, or texts you, since your value is no longer based on if someone is there or not. You turn into tranquility, and power comes from peace. Women experience it, men honor it, and life begins. Leaning in its direction, you're no longer responding to her lack of response. Your personal story is being directed. And this is the paradox. When you no longer require her, you'll be needed by her. When you give up pursuing, she will want your energy and attention. When you cease demonstrating your worth, she'll feel it. Since what actually pulls a money, beauty, or words won't win a woman back. It's vitality, the vitality of a man with kept himself in check. Thus, based on this from now on, don't strive to win her back. Get you back instead. Take back the before you lost yourself. You were a man. Attempting to be sufficient. Rebuild your focus, your body, and your behaviors. Become so focused on the fact that her quiet no longer. She no longer delights you when she returns. You are no longer defined by her love. Because once you get to that stage of dominance with composure, women stay with you. They circle you. Also, if she doesn't show up back, you still prevail, since you'll walk departing like a man reborn, more adroit, more powerful, more in charge than before. The individual who no longer seeks love but instead draws courtesy. And no, that's the type of man a woman forgets. Thus, I'll leave you with just one query. When a female disregards you, are you responding to her lack of presence? Answering your goal? Respond in the remarks that follow. Your tale may tonight open the eyes of another guy. Additionally, if this message resonated deeply, please like it. Share this and subscribe to the channel. Sharing a video with a buddy who should hear it at this moment, because all men are entitled to question for you And concluding remark, discover the strength of peace and the power of quiet. Everybody,